Okay, so we'll continue with the sensors. So last class we have seen about imaging sensors. So we have seen about the technology CCD and CMOS, and today we are going to focus on IR sensor. IR is, it is a infrared sensor, and the purpose of infrared sensor is to detect any human presence. Okay, so we'll see in this slide, we will see what is the introduction and what is the IR sensor, what is meant by IR sensor, how IR sensor is going to work, the hardware description of IR sensor, the circuit description, and mainly in what biomedical application I'm going to use this IR sensor, and the pros and cons of this IR sensor. What about the accuracy and what about the other merits and demerits of this IR sensor? So it is going to be popular sensor model in electronic sensor analogous to humans visionary sense. You can detect it is just to detect an obstacle, whether which is one of the common applications. So the remote controls what we use in our house. They if any obstacle is placed between the remote control and the TV will not be able to receive the IR signals, right? So same way, which means that if the obstacle is there, this detected signal will be zero. So that is what is the simple logic how an IR sensor is going to work. So it is going to detect an obstacle, and mainly in robots, when you have robots with artificial intelligence embedded into them, and they are going to travel along a particular path, they should ensure that there are no obstacles in their path. So for that purpose, you can use an IR sensor in the robots. And in both in forward, you have four sides, right, forward, backward, left, and right. So you can have four IR sensors along the four directions and see if there are any obstacles, and accordingly the robo can make it smooth. So you know that you have a robo which is going to follow a line. It's going to follow the line and travel. It is called as a line following robo. So basically, I am going to attach my IR sensor to this robo so that it can detect any physical quantity and convert them into electronic signal. Okay, so it is going to send an IR wave, and it is going to receive it back. So depending on that, it can see whether any obstacle is there or not in my thing. Okay, in the robo. So an IR sensor is an electronic instrument used to sense certain characteristics of surrounding by either emitting or detecting IR radiation. Either you emit or detect IR rays and do some manipulation and see what is the behavior. Okay, so it is the IR. Infrared is the portion of the electromagnetic spectrum which is longer than visible but smaller than microwave. So infrared actually comes after the visible spectrum. Okay, so after the visible spectrum, we have white starts with violet and ends with red, right? So it comes after red. Before red, you have this infrared, and it is going to be in the roughly in the range 0.75 micrometers, 1,000 micrometers. So IR sensor is going to work as a proximity sensor. Proximity means in the nearby surroundings, we are going to use the IR sensor. It cannot be used for a longer distance because this IR signals get weak as they travel for a longer distance. So the IR sensor is used only for near field measurement. Okay. So the IR LED keeps transmitting infrared rays up to some range. So they can be powerful only up to a particular range. After the particular range, what happens? The infrared rays become weak, and the detector cannot detect these infrared rays. So that is why few meters only, few tens of meters only, these infrared all the infrared sensors and the infrared concepts will work only for a few tens of meters, because then one thing is infrared rays, when they pass through any obstacle, they are reflected back. Second thing is infrared rays are not that powerful like a visible light to travel for a longer distance. So when the objects come in the IR range, the IR wave hits the object and comes back at some angle. So you have a photodiode next to the IR LED which detects the IR rays which got reflected from the object. You see here, you are going to send an IR signal. This is your detector. So you are going to send an IR signal. It is going to go hit and again come back here. So and I'm going to receive the IR signal with the detect photodiode. So photodiode is a device which is going to convert the light signals back into electrical signal. And this IR LED is a device which converts electrical signal into light. Okay, so I'm going to send the IR waves. So we assume that here you have an obstacle. The IR waves will hit the obstacle and return back to the photodiode, return back at the path. And in that path, if you have a photodiode, you can measure the intensity of the signal, which is reflected back from the obstacle. Okay, so I'm going to use this IC LM358. So it is going to be the IC for it compares two input voltages and produce output according to the input. So this is one IC I'm going to use. You see here, I'm going to have two inputs in one input plus and one input minus, two input plus and two input minus, and I have two outputs. V plus and V minus are for biasing the IC. Okay, so it is going to simply have an amplifier. So I'm going to give difference of the two input signals to the amplifier. It is going to amplify and give the output here in pin number 1 and pin number 7. And I have these two identical setups on either side of the IC. Okay, and this is your IR LED. So it is IR transmitter. So it is usually made of gallium arsenide or gallium indium arsenide. We don't use silicon for making LEDs because silicon does not have the ability to emit light. That is why we are going for different elements like gallium arsenide or gallium indium arsenide. Okay, that is why the different element we are going to use. It looks like common LED. The only thing, it will not glow because infrared radiations are invisible to human eyes because the wavelength is very small. It is outside the visible range, right? So it is outside red. So you cannot see the LED glowing. But actually, when you give power supply to the LED will start emitting infrared radiation. Okay. Then you have a photodiode. Photodiode is going to convert light into current. The LEDs operate in forward bias, photodiodes operate in reverse bias. The on-off time is very less, so it can detect the receiving signal very quickly. So then you have all these set up in a single port. And then you have the transmitter part of the project is going to be the IR LED. It is going to continuously send out infrared signals, and the receiver part is the photodiode, which is going to receive the reflected part of your signal, and the output of the photodiode is given to the amplifier, so that you can get the amplified output at the output of the final device. Okay, the application is very important. It is used in obstacle detection. The obstacle detection, see here, when the infrared waves are going to go and hit against the wall, they will come back. So you can detect the presence of infrared light using photodiode, and it is mainly used in obstacle detection. So light colored objects reflect more infrared light. So that is one property of light colored objects. Light colored objects, they detect more infrared light. So when there is no obstacle, the photodiode will not be active because no light is detected by the photodiode, right? So when no object is present around the infrared sensor, which means that the rays are traveling and they are not coming back, right? So in that case, no object is present, so that no IR light is detected by the infrared sensor. And dark colored objects reflect less IR light. So dark colored objects reflect less IR. You see here you have white color and it is reflecting majority of the light falling on it. But now here you have a black color. So you see it is reflecting only less thing and it is absorbing more of the infrared radiation. Objects present can be detected by the sensor. So when there is an object, based on the amount of reflected light coming from the obstacle, I can detect the presence of the object in the nearby surrounding. So it is mainly used in robotics, brightness comparison, distance measurement. Distance measurement simple. So you send a signal, you receive it back. The infrared is going to travel in the velocity of light. Velocity of light is 3 into 10 power 8 meters per second. Correct? Velocity is known. So distance equal to velocity equal to distance by time. So the time of emitting this light and time of receiving this light is known. Difference is going to be the total time t2 minus t1. So I know velocity, I know time, I can find the distance. So it is also used in distance measurement, but we don't use IRs in distance measurement because of these variations. Light colored objects reflecting more IR light, and dark colored objects reflecting less IR light. So for that reason, for distance measurement, I will not be using it because even though the obstacle is present, because of the strength of the IR waves, the distance may not be calculated exactly. So for that, we'll be using ultrasonic waves or sound waves for measuring the distance. So predominantly, IR sensors are used in obstacle detection, robotics to see the forward or backward or right or left path of a robo. Then you have the brightness comparison based on these two features: bright colored objects and dark colored objects, and distance measurement. So advantages, very simple. very low power, 5 volt is required for the LED to work. Simple circuitry. So it is going to provide a highly direction beam. You can focus an object using an IR sensor. Highly high noise immunity. No, you cannot. The IR light is not affected by noise. And disadvantage, line of sight. Line of sight means the transmitter and receiver should be in the same line and without any obstacles in between. If the obstacles are there, then the IR rays will not be able to pass through the obstacle. So the transmitter and receiver should be able to see each other in a same straight line. Blocked by common objects, yes, when you have obstacles, you will not receive the wave on the other side, which means that it denotes the presence of an obstacle. And it is only used for short range communication. Short range means 10 meters, maximum 10 meters only. You cannot establish infrared communication more than 10 meters. Easily affected with physical environment like rainfall, fog, and all. If it is there, they will absorb the IR rays, and the entire module will fail to function. So, physical environment is going to play a major role in the working of the infrared sensors. So, one part of IR sensor is over. We have one more IR sensor. We'll just see that. And here we are going to see how to interface the IR sensor with the device so that we can see how it can be used in real time application. So sensor, it is a device which is used to gather information about the surroundings and give useful information about it. So it is based on our requirement. So depending on what information we want from the surroundings, we use that type of sensor. So electronic sensors give the information by giving some electronic signal. So the information is used to perform a given task which needs interaction with the surroundings. So you are going to interact with the surroundings and you are going to see what information you need from the surroundings. It may be pressure, it may be temperature, or it may be, as for infrared, we'll be saying I need to see the obstacles. I need to see what all obstacles are there in my surroundings. So for that, these sensors can be used. The IR sensor, it is going to fall in the infrared spectrum. Okay, see, actually, when you go in frequency domain, first red will come, and then finally violet will come in frequency. If you talk in terms of frequency, if you talk in terms of lambda wavelength, first violet will come and then red will come. So infrared will come below red, before red. So from red to violet, the visible region is there, which you can see in your see with your eyes. Below red, you have the infrared, and above violet, you have the ultraviolets, and both these are invisible. So red and violet are the boundary of the visible radiation. I'm talking in frequency domain. The same thing, if you see in wavelength domain, it will be reverse. First violet will come, and then red will come. So I will say wavelength wise, infrared have higher wavelength compared to red. They have higher large wavelength compared to red. When you say in terms of frequency, infrared signals have lesser frequency compared to red. So IR sensor is a device which detects the IR radiation falling on it. So definitely, yes, with only with IR sense LED, we cannot do my job. So you need to have a device called as photodiode. So IR sensor is a device which detects the IR radiation falling on it. So the band of light, which is 1,000 times wider than that of visible light, is defined as infrared light. So infrared light is going to be more wider than the visible light. So physically, the light with wavelength from zero point 0.7 micrometer to zero point 0.1 millimeter is called as infrared. So you know that we cannot see the light with wavelength longer than 7 to 10 power minus 5 micrometers, and thus the IR light is invisible to human. We cannot see the UV also. So our eyes are prone to see only the visible wavelengths from violet to red. So anything below violet, ultraviolet, anything above red, infrared, we cannot see that because our eyes don't have the capability to visualize that wavelength of light. So these types of radiations are invisible to our eyes and that can be detected by the infrared sensor. So as I said, even when you develop an infrared LED, even though LED will glow brightly, right? But this LED will not, it will glow, but that glowing is not visible to the human eyes because infrared wavelength is not visible to the human eyes. So different types of IR sensors we have, and we are going to see what is the application. So IR sensors are classified into different types based on application. First one is radiation thermometers. So they can IR sensors are used in radiation thermometers to measure the temperature depending on the temperature. So radiation means any black body is radiated. radiate. Human body is also radiating. So any living thing is going to radiate some light. So we can detect that radiation from the IR sensor. The first one is radiation thermometer. Second one is flame monitor. So these devices are used for detecting the light emitted from the flames and to monitor how the flames are burning. The light emitted from flames vary from UV to IR region. You know, when fire happens and when you have a flame, when you have a thick flame engulfing the particular area, you can detect that using infrared flame monitoring system. Next one is proximity sensor used in touchscreen phones and edge avoiding robots. Proximity means nearby. So nearby, whoever is there, you can detect them easily using the infrared radiation and mainly contrast sensors. So used in line following robots. So that's what I said. So line following robot will follow a black line. So if anything is any obstacle is present way before the robot, you can detect that using an IR sensor. And it is going to have a IR sensor pointing downwards. You will have a black color sheet, right? So it is going to run on that black sheet only, and it should not deviate away from the sheet. So to constantly ensure that the bottom portion is always black, we go for what is called as contrast sensor. Okay, next one, gas analyzer. Infrared sensors are used in gas analyzers, which use absorption characteristics of gas in the IR region. So you have a chamber filled with gas. You want to see what all gases are there inside the chamber. You just let in the IR rays into the chamber, because you know IR rays, different gases have different absorption spectrum in the infrared region. So when you measure the output and you see the output waveform, you can clearly see how much the value have reduced. Depending on that, you can tell that these gases are present inside my chamber. The temperature used this temperature sensor is used for industrial temperature control. Last one is PIR sensor, passive infrared sensor. It is used for automatic door opening system. The infrared sensor as such has lot of application. One in radiation thermometer, one as in flame monitoring, one in proximity sensor, one is gas analyzer, and one in PIR sensor. So IR imaging has been developed into a field recently. So IR image device, one of the main applications of infrared waves. Even though visible light imaging is available in your cameras and using camcorder and other devices, IR imaging is also having its own applications. You can see that because it is not visible. So whenever you are whenever you are being scanned by an infrared camera, you never know that you are being photographed, because the infrared rays are not visible to you. So it is used in thermal images, night vision devices. So when you want to capture the scenes in night, you go for infrared cameras because they work well in night. Because the light camera, visible light cameras will not work at night, because there is no light, right? And also you see that different properties emit different infrared radiation. For example, water, rock, soil, vegetation, atmosphere, and human tissue all emit different IR radiation. So with that, you can easily identify the objects, what type of radiation is emitted by what type of object. When you are focusing about humans, you know that human is going to emit only this wavelength of radiation. So if you detect that radiation around you, you can come to a conclusion that there is a human presence around the nearby you, surrounding the area where you are present. So infrared circuit and its working principle, it is very, very simple. So it is one of the basic and popular sensor module in an electronic device. It is similar to visionary sensors, so it can be used for detecting obstacles. And one of the common application is real time. So circuit has that's what we said. You have a transmitter and receiver pair. You have an LED and photodiode, and you have the amplifiers for amplifying the signal. So this is a simple setup where you have this an infrared LED, which is a PD. So the reflected ray from IR will be hitting your PD, and the output of is given to the amplifier, and the output you can take it from here. You have the variable resistor to adjust the gain of the amplifier, and you have the power supply for connecting your signal. So IR LED is an LED which emits light in the frequency, the range of infrared, and photodiode. It is going to convert the light into an equivalent electrical signal, predominantly voltage or current. So when when no light is falling on it, it will work as a high resistance device. When light is going to fall on it, the resistance is going to change and it is going to produce an equivalent voltage or current. So you have an op amp to compare to amplify your signal. We have an operational amp. This is the circuit diagram as we have seen already. The circuit diagram, you have an IR LED. So the received signal is detected by the PD and the output is given to an amplifier. And finally, you get the output here. So working when the IR receiver does not receive a signal, which means that there are no obstacles, surrounding your device. The potential at the inverting terminal and other thing are going to be high and LED does not glow. When the IR module receives a signal, the output will be low and the LED is going to glow. You have an LED here to indicate whether there is obstacle or not. So when the IR rays are not received, this LED will not glow. When the IR rays are received, it means that there is an obstacle. This LED will go. LED is to indicate the presence or absence of human motion. Okay. The output starts glowing when there is an obstacle, and output does not glow when there is no obstacle. So you can even interface your this module with the Arduino board so that you can use it for any small applications even in your house. We have been learning about smart homes, right? So these are the things present inside the IR sensor. So you can develop your own IR sensor and you can use it for detecting human presence inside your house. So whenever you come near the infrared sensor, you the infrared will be reflected back to the PD and you will be getting a signal saying there is human present. When you are away from the sensor, the rays will not reach your PD and it will clearly say that the things are not, there is no human presence. So this sample code, how you write inside an Arduino processor, it is simple C code, C language code you will be using inside the to code the Arduino processor. Okay. So this is about the IR sensor. Now we come to motion sensing technology. So what is motion sensing and how it is useful for real life examples? So what is a sensor? So what is motion sensor? Types of motion sensor we are going to see. Types of motion sensor, the motion detecting, what the principle behind motion detecting, the types of motion sensing, dual sense technology, motion sensor in mobile, motion sensor in games, conclusion and references. So we are going to see about motion sensing technology. So you know this general example of sensor is used to receive and respond to a signal. Okay, so that is the application of sensor, and sensor is also called detector because sometimes it receives signal and it converts it so that it can be read by an observer or an instrument. Okay, specifications of sensor, these are the properties sensor should have: accuracy, so the error between the result of a measurement and the value being measured. So the accuracy is how close the value is measured and what is the true value which is measured. So difference should be very minimal, error should be very minimum. So I can accordingly say the device to be accurate. Resolution, the smallest increment of measure that a device can make. Okay, so resolution is smallest possible value which I can measure. Sensitivity means if the input is changing, how the output is changing. Is my device sensitive to any change in input? That is sensitivity. Repeatability or precision, how accurately the my device can reciprocate the same value over a particular amount of time. I am using this device for the 5 years. Assume it is used for 5 years, and 5 years it is accurately predicting my temperature in my house. So when the temperature is 35, it's exactly giving as 35. When the temperature is 30, it is giving as 30. For 5 years, it is same. So for a specific number of times or for a period of time, the same output is produced, then the instrument is said to be repeatable or it is going to have a very high degree of precision. So these are the some of the important properties of a sensor. The types of sensor, you know, there are different types of sensor for each application. So you know the different applications require different types of sensor, different parameters to be monitored, and different range of operation is required. Okay, so all are going to be different, and they are, under what conditions they are going to operate and what parameters they are going to measure. So they are going to measure temperature or pressure or level, water level, or humidity, or speed, or motion, or distance, or light, or the presence or absence of object, and many other types. A lot of things the sensors can detect, and we are and application wise, it is going to be different. And we are going to see about motion sensor. So the term motion sensor can be used to any kind of sensing system which is used to detect motion. So it can be of motions of any object or it can be of human beings. So I'm going to detect if there is any motion in my nearby surroundings with respect to any object or any human being. So motion sensor is also called as a motion detector. Okay, they are mostly used in security systems as triggers for automatic lights and alarms and similar applications. Predominantly, you can think of an airport where baggage is lying uncared. Baggage is lying for a specific amount of time without nobody is claiming for the baggage. So in that case, this motion, the sensor will alert the security system saying this baggage is lying alone, and it will indicate using alarm. So it will be capturing the images for a particular period of time. When there is a scheduled period of time, for example, say after half an hour the baggage is not being claimed by anybody, and it will alert the people and uh, ask for some immediate intervention. So, what types of motion sensor, the way in which a motion sensor works typically depends on the types of sensor being used, which depends on the device that uses the sensor. So, two things are there: what sensor is being used and how the sensor is being interfaced with the device. Okay, so two types of motion sensors are there. First one is active, and next one is passive. So there are two types of motion sensors. First one is active and passive. So active sensors, they are going to emit a light which is reflected by the surroundings. So active sensors are going to emit infrared light using LEDs, which are going to travel in the forward direction. And if there are any obstacle, it is reflected by the surroundings. And the reflected light is received by the sensor, and we take necessary action. When something moves within the area of an active motion sensor, the change in signal that is reflected activates the system. So when somebody is moving means when they are on the path of infrared waves means you will get the reflected light. When the light is not coming back means it means that for that particular time there was a motion detected. Simple. So IRAs will be continuously emitted, right? So you can clearly say for what period of time the rays did not come. In that period of time, I could detect a motion. It can be motion by animals or human beings. It may be anything. So the active sensor is one of the most common reliable sensors used in a home security system. So you know that this a simple application, automatic washing used in hotels, it is going to operate based on the infrared. So when an automatic sensors and hands underneath, so usually you have an IR sensor. So when the IR sensor is going to emit light, it will not be observed. When there is no hand, this IR sensor will be naturally having traveling downwards. But when you have a hand in between, it will get reflected from the hand and it will go back. You have a detector here. You have a detector here to see the presence of human hand, and the water is turned on. So it's a simple IR sensor based application. What we have in the real time. That is an active sensor. Passive sensor, you see, they are a type of motion sensor that do not emit a signal, but instead detect infrared radiation around the sensor. So they are not going to emit any they are not going to emit any signal, but they are going to detect any infrared radiation around the sensor. So as the sensor detects the temperature differences, it is useful for detecting the motion of the people by their body temperature. So you know human beings emit radiation, and from that you can measure their body temperature. So passive sensor is used to detect human people by their body temperature. So when a person or animal moves through an area, the heat from the movement is detected by the sensor, which then activate the system and the action will be conducted. So you know that when a person is going to move or the animal is going to move inside a room, you know that they are going to radiate some waves. They are going to radiate energy. So based on the radiation, the system activates, maybe automatically the light is turned on or automatically the fan is turned on. So you can do that automatically based on the detection of radiation. So use as a human detection sensor to automatically turn on lights when a person is present in a room and turn off when nobody is there. When nobody is there, free is there, there will be no radiation, so you can turn off. When human being or animal or any other living being is there, so they when they are going to enter, they are going to emit radiation. That radiation detected by the sensor, and automatically lights are turned on and off accordingly. The typical applications are used in motion sensing, automated lighting system, what we have seen, security systems, smart floodlights, burglar alarm, and radar gun. So these are different applications where we are going to use motion sensor. Motion sensor, what are the advantages? So it is going to save time. So it is going to improve, add more security to your system, easy to install. It saves energy, and it is going to be a powerful transmission. So motion detection. So motion detection, the process of detecting a change in position. So the position is going to change related to the surroundings. Surroundings are going to be fixed. Okay, surroundings are going to be fixed, and the object position is going to change, or the object is going to be fixed, surroundings are going to change. So two things are possible. So two principles are there. One is object surroundings. So one is going to be stationary, and other is going to move. Either it detects a change in position of the object when the surroundings are not moving, or when the object is stationary and the surroundings are moving. So the motion can be detected by infrared. You have active and passive sensors. In fiber optics, in optics, you have visible light, you have video and camera systems. In RF domain, you can do that using radar and microwave systems. In sound, you can use ultrasonic and acoustic sensors. And vibration, you can use seismic sensors. So these are different ways of motion sensing used in different applications. Types of motion sensing: we have local motion sensing, ultrasonic, or microwave. Local means we will be using IR, ultrasonic for some distance, microwave for large distance. The local motion sensing, we are going to use infrared, because infrared is they cannot travel for longer distance. For local motion sensing, I am going to use infrared light, and infrared light is non-visible for humans. So that is emitted by objects when they produce heat. So in infrared motion system, they are cheapest and most reliable use for immediate surroundings, for local sensing of motion. The infrared motion detector uses an infrared sensing to detect motion in a given area. So in a given area, you can continuously send infrared signals and see what is the received signal. Based on that, you can say whether there is a detected motion or not. It is the simplest method. So use of infrared technology allows such a detector to pick up only heat. So infrared sensors are characterized by high sensitivity, low cost, and are very widely used nowadays for local motion sensing. So it can pick up certain levels of heat, making it possible to ignore small animals. So you can ensure that by using a proper infrared detector, I can check for humans only. I can ignore the animals. So it is a part of this larger security system. So this is, you cannot rely only on infrared. This might be a part of the larger security system. The next one is ultrasonic motion detectors. They use sound waves to detect motion. So same principle is same. You send sound waves. The sound waves hit the obstacle and come back. So based on the two things, we will be detecting the motion and alarm as signal. So based on the pattern of sound waves you analyze, you will be alarming the people involved there. So it is going to use not infrared, it is going to use sound waves. So generally, these ultrasonic frequencies are not audible to humans, and most animals do not pass through these most animals and do not pass through most objects. So most of the objects will reflect the ultrasonic sound signal. So I can use that sensing any motion. So active motion sensors can generate sound in the range 30 to 50 kilohertz. So our audibility range is only till 20 kilohertz. So above the human audible range only we are going to generate. So when there are no objects in the moving in the area, it will take more time to return to the detector. But if something is moving, the detector will sense immediately. So what happened? The phase of the signal will be shifted slightly. So if the phase shift is there, we can clearly detect whether the human being or any other motion is there in the nearby area. And last one is microwave motion sensing. So microwave motion sensor system send out microwaves of an object and back to the sensor. So the sensor then reads the frequency of resulting wave. You are going to use high frequency. It is microwaves are used in high frequency. Okay, high frequency sensing. So if an object is moving, then the sensor can receive the different microwaves from the one what is sent. So you know what you have sent. you have what you have received. When you compare both, you can see whether there is motion detected or not. So these types of motion cover a larger area than infrared signal. They can even penetrate walls. They are more reliable over longer distances. But only thing, the radiation is unhealthy for living organisms. So up to a particular power, you cannot increase the power because it is going to be harmful to the living beings. But despite this, they are least popular. We still go with IR and ultrasonic, only IR and ultrasonic, and we do not go for microwave based sensing because of this unhealthy, the radiation effects are going to be unhealthy. So we have seen three independent technologies for motion sensing: IR, ultrasonic, and microwave. But you can use two at a time. So dual technology means I'm going to use a combination of IR and microwave for providing most complete coverage available. So using both the technologies allow the dual motion sensor system to reduce the occurrence of false alarms by combining the microwave technology and infrared. Microwave technology is going to have a very good coverage, and infrared technology is going to have a very good heat sensing capability. So when I'm going to combine both, I'm going to reap good benefits of the reducing false alarm. False alarm means wrongly detecting an emotion. That is going to be false alarm. Falsely, you are giving an alarm saying emotion is detected. So you can reduce the occurrence of false alarm by combining technologies for dual, by combining the technology for microwave and infrared. So it is going to gain popularity and business alike. The people nowadays are more interested towards dual technology. So you have your mobile phones, and they have motion sensors in your mobile phone, which is accelerometer, which is a complex motion sensor. So it translates motion into action. So when you rotate your screen, the contents are automatically rotated, right? So it is sensing the motion. So it is sensing the change in axis, right? A simple one, what we have seen. So it translates the motion into action onto the screen. Accelerometers are used in tablet computers and digital cameras so that the images on screen are always displayed upright. So you can change the way you want to view the contents in your mobile phone using these motion sensors. So if you tilt your mobile phone or if you change the orientation of your mobile phone, the contents are automatically, the display is automatically changed. That is using the accelerometer sensor, which detects a complex motion. Okay. So motion technology is used in gaming also. So the focus we have touch-free motion sensing. So Microsoft has an Xbox 360, which is touch-free motion sensing demonstration. What they have given. So what you do will be replicated here. The primary innovation of Kinect is a device that enables advanced posture, gesture, facial, and voice recognition. So it can detect everything. It can see the posture, gesture, facial, and voice recognition. It is composed of three hardware components. One is web camera. You see here a vision camera. You have an infrared projector and sensor. So you have an LED, which is the infrared transmitter, and infrared receiver. You have a receiver to decode your signal, and finally a microphone array to in case pick up the voice commands. So limited camera and sensor capability. So the camera and sensors will be with range is going to be only 180 degrees. So backside, whatever happens, they cannot see. Only the front side completely they can cover 180 degrees. Better audio sensing capability because you have a microphone array. When you have an array means it can detect even the minutest of sound for you to do the further actions. And limited body recognition. So motion sensing is an important in gaming and will slowly start making impact, and it is make biggest impact in non-gaming applications. So the references are there. So you can go through for additional information if you are required.